so much. Thanks, number one, for extending an invitation on this really august occasion for you. I mean, 15 years is no small number. Also, great panel. We heard Piyush's views, amazing journeys of various entrepreneurs. You must be thinking why I have been invited for a manufacturing setup. First of all, thank you once again. This is my second interaction with you guys. I don't know. I'm a forgetful character, so maybe you've forgotten about me. But I'm glad to be. I'm glad to be here. As a computer science geek, I have very little to do with manufacturing. But you'll be surprised to know that I started Altigreen about 9 years back. To date, we have 26 global patents for technologies we've built, which are going into the electric vehicles that we are producing and that are going on Indian roads. I put this in context only because I do feel that, like Piyush mentioned, I think it's about time that we looked at manufacturing in our own geography in a very different way. It's not about just following what others are doing and trying to, do a percentage better or a percentage less or come close to them, but in ensuring that we are really innovating for the needs of our specific geography. I cannot stress on that enough. You guys are all budding entrepreneurs. You guys are all going to be the future of the future foundation on which manufacturing is going to be built. From that perspective, I just want to say a few things about what I've learned. Number one, from an entrepreneur's perspective, just realize that there's a lot to be done for your own geography. Don't think global and then say, oh, it's been done in the US or this has been done in Japan or in Europe or in China, and hence I should do it in India too. I think it's about time we looked at the needs of our own geography and looked at solutions. I hate the word jugaad. I don't like it at all, because jugaad ensures that at some point innovation ends and it is only limited to small tinkering, a little bit change here and there. I do believe that fundamentally there is a need for massive manufacturing at very large scale to happen in this country, which reduces our dependence. I am, through Altigreen, doing my part from an EV perspective, because EV is going to be, electric vehicles are going to be the future of transportation in this world. If I, as a computer science geek, can come here, raise 300 crores of the who's who names and money from them to create a manufacturing setup for electric vehicles in this country based on technological innovations that have been done, global innovations that have been done in India for electric vehicles in Altigreen, so can you. Trust me. You all have it in you to be able to do it. You just have to take that first step and say, karenge na yaar, kya problem? We'll do it. What's the worst that can happen, guys? I mean, you're from the best institutions of the country, right? Why can't you do it? Sure you can. I'm speaking truly from an entrepreneur's perspective. Don't take me wrong on this. I'm not saying that everyone will become an entrepreneur. But if you have that, I call it the kida, the worm inside your head. If you have that kida inside you, don't let it go waste. Just be it. Do it. Kya ho jayega yaar? Another 2 years, 3 years, you could live for 80 years. It's okay. 2-3 years invested in manufacturing or in a setup that is required by this country, I don't think is too much. You can very easily dedicate that. And if you have the gumption and the goal to be able to do it, I'm using the 2 words with G, to do it, try it. You will come out successful. There is a reason why 93% of startups fail. It's not because they run out of steam or they run out of, or they starve to death. My very famous saying is, I don't believe startups fail because of starvation, they fail because of indigestion. You lose focus somewhere. I think it is very, very important. You pick one problem, okay? Whether it has a technological solution, a manufacturing solution, whatever it has, you take it all the way to the end with that focus, that singular focus. You will win. You will. Trust me on this. Computer science guy building EVs today, right? And this is not because Elon Musk is also a computer science guy building the best vehicle in the world. It's not because of that. Maybe it's an inspiration somewhere. Who knows? Excuse me. Manufacturing, you must realize the first thing that I have learned about manufacturing is it has to be intended for the market in which you are going to be doing it. So if you are in India or if you're building something for India, make sure that the manufacturing hub is India. It is very, very difficult to kind of have a very split kind of thing, design somewhere else, do something somewhere else, do manufacturing over here, try to make all this. It may run for global organizations, they need to do it. But when you're starting up, when you're building something, make sure that you are in the same geography that you're building a manufacturing hub, where you're building a design center. Keep those co-located. It always helps. Number one. Number two, when you're identifying a problem, try to go outside, just the usual use case. Everyone looks at the surface. The reason why there are millions of startups doing the same thing is because that is the obvious thing that everyone can see. And if you can see it, so can they. And I assure you, you pick a problem today, any problem you pick today, right? There are probably 10,000 people who have already thought about that problem first before you. Okay, so never think that, or a boss, kya unique idea, boss, sab to boss, seedhe Bill Gates. Not going to happen. Trust me, it's not going to happen. 10,000 people have thought about it. 5,000 people have started doing something about it. Okay. And probably 100 people are far ahead of you. When you start with this idea that you're not the first, but you have to run, you have to run to make sure that you can get ahead of them. What do? You focus. The biggest difference between failed and good startups is one of focus. You have to focus. Just pick something that is not obvious within a segment that you like. Pick something. Electric vehicles. I'm just giving myself as an example. It's not that we started by building a car, which is the most obvious place where everyone would start. Gaadi banayenge. Very nice, very nice. Tesla, this, that, all kinds of things happening around. No. What is the need of our geography? Our need is last mile transport. We do not operate from a bottom. We do not operate from a top-down approach where developed economies work. Countries like US will manufacture a very, very good car, wing doors, ludicrous mode of driving, 650 mile, this thing, $500,000 worth of a vehicle. They start from there. Ultimately, they will start selling $25,000 vehicles. They start from the top, come down. Our geographies require bottom-up approach. There's a reason why we decided we would get into three-wheelers, because that is where change needs to happen in this country. And I can give you a lot of social reasons why change needs to happen in the three-wheeler space. But if you look at it purely from a need perspective, that is the right vehicle for the needs of this geography in terms of last mile transportation, because it is a nimble vehicle, it can turn, it can carry load, it can do all kinds of things. I can go, that's when you dig 1 or 2 or 3 levels deeper, and then you say, okay, in this segment of electric vehicles, what should I be focusing on? Don't start by saying, okay, I'll build the entire thing, and then I'll just start taking components from here and there, somehow piece them together, and I will have a vehicle that I will start selling. I'm telling you, you take the best motor of the world, and you marry it with the best controller of the world, and you take the best gearbox of the world and the best display cluster of the world and everything best, and you will get the crappiest electric vehicle you have ever seen. Take my word for it. Not going to happen. You realize that when you spend time and energy in it. Focus on creating the time and energy, and then drive yourself towards it. Don't be afraid of manufacturing. Ek mindset hai in India. Okay, if I have a computer, I can create a software startup, dude. I mean, I'll be like Google. Next thing you know, is I'm going to be Google. I'm going to make billions and billions of dollars. I'm standing here. Right? I've had 2 software startups. Yes, they've been marginally successful, right? So it's not that just by default of having startups and investors investing is going to happen. Don't be afraid of manufacturing. You are here because you are interested in manufacturing. Take that up. It's a great field to be in. Look at the geography, look at global things, but focus on the need that you're going to be building on. So the need for India is, I'm talking around India right now, the need for India, focus on that. Look at a solution, whether it is a software, hardware, whatever it might require, even if it requires manufacturing, focus on that, build towards that. Don't look at the obvious. I think the obvious will have a lot of people focusing on it. Look beyond the obvious. Go 3 levels deeper and then start looking at it and look at the problem 3 levels deeper. Look at it from inside out, outside in. And one thing more that I would want to stress, I don't know, I think I have some more time. One thing more that I would like to stress is whenever you're looking at a specific sector or a specific problem case or something that you're working on, again, I speak from an entrepreneur's perspective. Don't just look at a point solution. Yaar, ye banao. You have to look at it from an ecosystem perspective. That is the big differentiation between a failed startup and a good startup. A failed startup continues to always say, itna badhiya banaya, there will be no takers boss. India mein chala hi not going to happen. Right? There is a big problem in this country, boss. The same thing if I was doing somewhere else, I would have been hugely successful. No. The reason is because, of course, India is a very tough market. Of course, this is a country where the biggest ad campaign for four-wheelers used to be kitna deti hai. Ye country hai hamari. There's a reason why it was, because we are conscious about various things. Realize that. Built to that. We are not willing to accept poor quality, boss. Kitna deti hai doesn't mean that it is going to be, it's going to be a bad thing, that I'm not conscious about the money that I'm spending. No, it's a good thing. It forces us to make sure that we deliver solutions that are right priced for the right performance that we are giving to them. But don't take people for a ride. Try to create the ecosystem. For example, I'm making electric vehicles, right? When I make electric vehicles, I will focus on only one type of vehicle. We started by making two-wheelers, we made three-wheelers, and we made a small commercial four-wheeler. All three prototypes. I don't like to do hand waving and discuss ki boss ye design hoga, aisa hoga, mere ko paisa do. I don't like that. I'll build the vehicles first. I put it out in the Auto Expo. I let people decide. Boss, what vehicles do you like? Out of these three, which do you think I should make? Are you willing to place orders on these vehicles? Ask them point blank. Banaunga gadi boss. Aisa doge? Will you buy these vehicles? And if they say yes, that's your thing. You got it. Start on the manufacturing track, but then start looking at the ecosystem to say, okay, guys, I have made this vehicle. Right? How will it go out in the market? I also need to have a service center. I will need to have financing for this vehicle. I need to have logistics to make sure that the vehicle can reach all that. A lot of times people are able to manufacture it, but they find it very difficult to either get vehicle financing or to make sure that they're getting enough spares or they're getting enough service. The customers start thinking, how many times would you have seen that very, very good companies, global companies, I won't take their name, but global companies have come to India. They've been very, very big companies, but they have to exit from this market. Why? It's not because they make bad cars. No, definitely not. They're very, very successful globally. But here, the challenges are different. People's mindsets are different. When we look at service. We also look at transparency in service. You can't just take the vehicle inside and say, "Bahar nikal ke boss, 23,000 ka bill, 23,000 bucks you have to pay because that was the problem in your car." Dude, it's not acceptable. Because I will go to a Rao or service or Srinivas and ask him, dude, can you please fix this vehicle for me? Right? Because I have a connect with them. So there are different ways of looking at it, but look at it from an entire ecosystem perspective. Don't just look at saying that, okay, I will create my point thing because Dr. Saran had said, you have to focus on one thing. So I focused on it and I had to learn abhi bhi nahi ho raha. इस वजह से नहीं हो रहा because आपने ecosystem नहीं बनाया उसके अंदर. You may not be building it yourself, but make sure that you know from start to finish to consumption, how will you take it forward? I think manufacturing is a great avenue that you have picked. The future of this country will require, made in India, made for India. and made for the entire world, made in India, made by India, and make for the entire world. Make it a export hub. Piyush just mentioned, I've been late in joining, but amazing stuff that's going on, right? Lenskart is a typical example of how companies can grow even on the manufacturing side. Now we will have a lot more examples. Folks like you coming out and saying, okay, we will do it. We will be part of larger companies. We will learn what it takes, and then we will start ourselves, because manufacturing is going to be huge in this country. And now with automation coming, with a lot of software systems that are being built, everything is here for change. And you guys are at the right place at the right time to be able to pick it up and move forward with it. Really, I mean, you couldn't have a more perfect time when manufacturing is coming back. There is always this game that is being played, mechanical engineering, no computer science, no electronics, no year. At the end of the day, now people are realizing that manufacturing is going to be extremely key, very important. So, those are some of the thoughts that I have. You may have a few more, I don't know, days, weeks that you're still in school. Just enjoy it a little more. You will not get this time back ever again. Oh, by the way, maybe you guys are all working out of home. I don't know. So it's wasted. Honestly, I mean, the best time, I still remember, it's been a while back, but I remember the best time we used to have were back at school. When I say school, I mean school all the way up to PhD university. Just the most amazing times. So whenever you're there, just make sure, whichever organization you're in, just maintain your contacts with everyone. Doesn't matter whom, maintain your contacts. Take them out for tea, coffee, just talk to people, just network. Networking gives you a lot of ideas. It gives you a lot of opportunities. Just make sure that you're constantly networking, not just when you need someone. So usko mila liya, not just that. Just keep hanging out with people. It's okay. It's, all that, raat mein milenge, daru piyenge, all that is passe now. I mean, just generally, just enjoy life. Life enjoyment doesn't mean you're just drinking at night, right? So just have fun. Go out, meet people, talk to people. You get lots of ideas. Don't worry about the future too much. India is changing rapidly. Opportunities, there's no dearth of opportunity now. You will find a place for yourself. You guys have studied in the best institutions of the country. I mean, joining hands of the best institutions of the country. You can't go wrong. Take risk. Risk taking is important. You take risk, you will mature. You will do really well. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to be able to address you guys. I thank the management of the institution. I thank Biswajit for reaching out to me. All of you over there. Truly an honor and a pleasure. Truly. Thank you so much.